welcome to your reading. Okay, so I will say I was pretty far into filming your reading when I realized it was no longer recording. So this is take 2. So actually, let me go ahead and fix this over here. I didn't realize. Okay, so I'm going to explain sort of the layout of this reading, and then we'll go ahead and get into your messages group 1. So the way this is laid out, these cards up here with the Faerie deck are going to be person A, and these cards down here with the Greenwich Tarot are going to be person B. So I'm going to let you decide for yourself if you're person A or person B, and then the point of this reading is to try to figure out where you are in this timeline and how close you are to meeting your person. And so these cards are lined up so that, you know, if you are currently in this 4 of Swords energy and your future spouse is in this Page of Wands energy, because these energies line up. So if you're in the 4 of Swords, they're going through this Page of Wands moment, and then you know there's not many cards left, right, in this timeline. There's only one more card. So that means you would be really close to meeting them, right? Versus if you're way back here in the timeline, you may have some things to go through before you meet your future spouse, okay? And this also lets you know what's going on in their life, you know, at the same time as what's going on in your life. Now, if neither of these timelines resonate, I recommend choosing another group, you know, or maybe this reading just isn't for you, and that's okay. Now, at the end of your reading, we're going to get some more specific messages about the timing. And then we are also going to get some messages here in the grab bag. These are more specific messages about your future spouse. Remember, it's a general reading, so if something doesn't resonate, please leave it. And then we'll also get some love tokens from your future spouse, and then we'll get some spark, romance, and matchsticks from your future spouse. So that's what we got going on so far. Also, I'm going to be super paranoid about the phone filming, so I'm going to check it periodically just to make sure that we're still recording, and I'll cut that out in the editing. But if you see jump cuts, that's why. I'm trying to make sure that we're still filming here, okay? All right, now your guides and your future spouse's guides were very kind, and they gave us 2 court cards, 1 queen and 1 king. And so that's going to make it, I think, easier to discern, you know, which timeline is yours and which timeline is your future spouse's. Now, with this Queen of Swords, I did get 1 extra card for her just because it was the first one, and I wanted to see what was going on in her life. So with person A here, if you resonate with the divine feminine energy, or if you're a Libra, Aquarius, or a Gemini, this could be your timeline. But anyway, with this Queen of Swords, she's going through this space where something in her life just isn't working. And it could be that there are many things in her life that aren't working. She wants to switch up her whole day-to-day routine. She wants to change certain habits. She wants to cut out or distance herself from some people. She wants to make a career change. But there's something big going on in her life where she's like, this isn't working out. I gotta make a change. And the Queen of Swords, she's a very decisive, pragmatic person. And she doesn't take any crap off of anyone. And so when she makes up her mind to do something, that's it. She's doing it, you know? And so with this card, with the 6 of Swords here, I love the way that it's depicted in this deck, because usually with the 6 of Swords, someone is steering a boat away and they are helping 2 people get to calmer, safer waters. But in this 6 of Swords, this is the same fairy. And so it carries the message of like, I'm saving myself. I know that there are better things out there for me. I'm not going to settle. I'm not going to put up with this anymore. And even if this is her being her own worst enemy and having to clean up some of her own habits, either way, she's like, I'm going to be my own hero, and I'm going to do what I have to do to save myself. And so person A, she's going through that, and it pays off in a really big way. Whatever this decision is, or series of decisions that she makes, it really helps her out, because then she goes into this Six of Wands energy. And so she has major success from this decision, or like I said, a series of decisions. It pays off in a really big way for her. She's victorious. But you'll notice with this Six of Wands, usually there's a crowd of people cheering on the person, right? Not here. This person, he looks super jealous. You know, he looks really envious. And so that Queen of Swords is seeing all of this success. She's achieved something big. She, you know, took decisive action and it paid off, right? But the people around her, or maybe just one particular person, isn't happy for her, isn't being supportive, is maybe being passive aggressive, making snide comments, being negative, trying to undermine this victory, this success, this achievement, you know, putting her down in some way. And I don't keep saying she, her, but remember, the Queen of Swords, we're just talking about divine feminine energy. We're not talking about gender. But anyway, and so the Queen of Swords, she's not going to be bothered by this. She's not going to let it get to her. She'll stick up for herself, but at the same time, she's just not really bothered. You know, she's not going to let this undermine her, you know, like whatsoever. And you know, this could look like, just to give some context, to give an example, this could look like this Queen of Swords decides to quit her job. And you know, she doesn't have anything else lined up, but she's like, I can't take anymore. And she quits her job, and then in a couple weeks, she gets a better job with better benefits, better work-life balance. And still, the people around her are negative, gossiping, you know, trying to put her down. Even though she took decisive action and helped herself, people are still being negative about it. Or this could look like, you know, like let's say you're being bullied because, or people make rude comments about your weight, right? And so you make some lifestyle changes, you get to a healthy weight, you're feeling good about yourself, you're feeling confident, and then people still are negative. People are still rude about it. People still feel that it's appropriate to comment on your body when it's really, you know, never appropriate to comment on someone's body unless you're like a medical doctor and you're, you know, giving medical advice or something. But yeah, ridiculous. And so it's something like that. You know, it's something like, you know, person A did something to really help themselves, and then people around them still aren't happy for them, are still trying to belittle them. Now, I'll switch over to person B. Person B has a different personality temperament, okay? Person B, you see this little turtle here? They're not going to take quick, decisive action like the Queen of Swords person. Person B is a lot more slow and steady, careful, cautious. You know, they'll make a pros and cons list. You know, they don't rush into anything. And they hesitate a lot, you know. Sometimes they overthink, sometimes they second guess themselves, but they're just a little bit more, they're just a little bit practical, but almost too practical, okay? And I'm not saying that they're wrong for being this way. There's a benefit to being this way, but sometimes it does hold them back. And with this Four of Pentacles here, that's definitely the case. So in the beginning here, you see how they're hanging up these pentacles? And so, you know, these pentacles are nice. They give them stability, they give them security, but they're not a lot. You know, it's security, but it's not abundance. And so person B has been sort of slowly building up their life, slowly working towards their goal, brick by brick. And they're going to get there eventually, but it's going to take them a long time. And so this person right here kind of represents opportunity knocking. And so if person B was willing to take a risk, take a chance, and put down one of these pentacles that gives them some security and go answer this door, let opportunity come in, they could potentially have a lot more success. But they hesitate. They're seeing this opportunity, they're noticing it, they're acknowledging it, but they're not moving towards it. They're just watching. Okay? And so if this was the Queen of Swords, you know, she would already be at that door opening it. She would not be hesitating. She would have thrown those pentacles to the ground and she would be opening that door. Okay? But that's just not how person B rolls. And so person B is going to take some time to reflect, make their pros and cons list, maybe meditate, ground themselves, take a walk outside, just, you know, time for contemplation. And, you know, they're sort of taking stock and they're asking themselves, is this worth the risk? Is this worth the gamble? Is this going to pay off for me? What do I want? You know, like, am I happy here with this Four of Pentacles? Am I going to be content with this long term, or should I try for more? And so that's where they're at. So, you know, as person A is enjoying all of this success and trying to ignore the haters, you know, person B is just contemplating, trying to figure out what their next move is going to be. Are they going to stay where they're at, or are they going to go and try something different? Okay, now moving forward. With this Four of Wands here, person A is going through a little bit of sort of a questioning of their identity, their values, what they want. So there's going to be some sort of moment that happens for this Queen of Swords that makes her question, has she made the right choices? And it's almost like having a moment where you sit and talk with someone else who has made very different life choices than you, and it leaves you with a funny feeling of like, am I really on the right path? Am I really happy? Like, yes, my life looks amazing on paper, but am I really happy? Is there something missing? And I think for the Queen of Swords, she's like, I have this success. I have, you know, this achievement. I have things that are going right in my life, but it feels like something is missing. And I think for this Queen of Swords, it's connection. You know, we've already established person A does not have good people around them, supportive people around them. Now, I'm not saying everyone is a snake around her, but there's definitely some negativity. And I feel like this Queen of Swords is yearning for a partner. She's yearning for someone who's genuinely gonna support her and share in her success, share in her happiness, cheer her on, help build her up instead of trying to tear her down. And, you know, it's not that she has made all the wrong choices in life or anything like that, but I think she's having this moment where she's like, have I been too focused on just one area of my life? Have I just been too goal-oriented, too ambitious, too much of maybe a workaholic, but just have I been so focused, so tunnel-visioned towards this one thing that I haven't considered sort of the softer side of life, the importance of love, the importance of connection. I feel like this Queen of Swords, she has focused very much on the things that are within her control. And that's smart. It is smart. But I think ultimately, life is about opening your heart up. And when we're talking about opening our heart to other people, we don't have control over how that's going to go. We can't control how someone else is going to treat us, right? And sometimes we trust the wrong people, and sometimes we get hurt. And so I feel like the Queen of Swords, you know, she doesn't deal well. She doesn't cope well with her emotions. You know, that's just not what she prefers. She prefers to rationalize, intellectualize her emotions. She doesn't necessarily like to feel them. And so for her to be vulnerable, to let her shield down, to let her sword down, and to be open to the risk of getting hurt, or to even to admit to herself that maybe she wants a home, maybe she wants family, maybe she wants roots, maybe she wants stability, maybe she wants to share her life with somebody else, that is terrifying to admit. You know, it's so much easier to accept that you're not married or that you don't have a life partner when you say that's not on the top of, you know, like my priority list. It's just not a priority for me. You know, it's easier to accept it when you say other things in my life are more important. You know, I'm focused on my success. I'm focused on my dreams. And I think she's done that for a while now. This Queen of Swords, she's done that for a while now. And it's paid off. She's successful. But there's something still missing. Something she's still yearning for. And I say yearning because of this moon card and this wolf howling at the moon. She's yearning for something. Her soul is like, this is nice, this is all nice, but we want more. We need depth. We need depth. We need emotion. We need true feeling. You know, every time she achieves something, she doesn't have someone to share it with. And it's just like, after a while, it's just like ticking off a box. And it feels nice in the moment. But then she's like, okay, what now? And then she goes and she starts after some other goal. And she achieves that. And then it's like it's never enough. It's like she constantly needs, not the validation of others, but she needs to sort of feel empowered, to feel like she's in control, to feel like she's strong. And so over and over again, she's just focused on her goals, she's keeping herself busy because she doesn't want to stop and to say or to admit, this is what I really want. I want love. I want connection. I want a home. I want someone to share my life with. That's hard. That's tough. And so this is like a moment of reckoning where it's like she's pushed her feelings down for so long that they're coming up and she has to face it. She has to face it. Now, meanwhile, person B, with this 9 of Pentacles, okay, they do end up finally answering this door. They do decide to take a risk. They do decide, you know what, I want more. I do want more. I want to try to go for it. I'm just going to do it. And so with this 9 of Pentacles, it pays off for them in a really big way. They have so much more financial abundance, so much more material wealth in their life. And look at how he's standing here. He's proud of himself. I mean, there's so much pride here. There's so much of a feeling of like, okay, I'm the leader now. I'm in charge now. And so they're feeling super good, super confident. You know, it's not just about the money. It's about the freedom that money brings. Okay? And the self-confidence, like I said. And it's a major, major shift. I mean, to go from the 4 to the 9, that's a huge up-leveling in finances. Huge up-leveling. And so I think for most people in person B, this is them starting their own business or them getting really high up in a company, because this King of Pentacles, this is Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo energy and divine masculine energy. They are not answering to too many people here. So either they own their own business and they're the boss, or they're really high up in a company, but they are doing really well financially for themselves and they're feeling proud. And they have one really solid source of income. And from that, it's like I can build off of this, and now I can create multiple streams of income from like this one business. And so this would be like a business, I don't know, let's say they start a restaurant and their restaurant starts doing really well, and then they start to decide, hey, let's do a food truck, hey, let's make merch, you know, things like that. And so, or you know, maybe they're known for their coffee or their wine at this restaurant, and then they start selling you know, that in stores. There's one like local barbecue place in my hometown, and they started selling their slaw in grocery stores. So it could be something like that. I'm just, again, just giving out examples to give context, but it's like one big source of income then starts to create multiple streams of income, and it just starts to build for this person, okay? And you know, person A honestly has a lot more going on. Person B, their trajectory is more, it's slower, but it's smoother. Whereas person A is going through a lot. And I think it's honestly because person A represses their emotions so much. And when you do that, they tend to rise up. They come back and they bite you. You know, when you push it down, you push it down. There has to be a moment of, I mean, any type of emotion, it demands to be felt. You can only push it down for so long. Okay? So, you know, this is sort of the moment where person A is starting to admit to themselves, I want to be married, I want to have a life partner, I need love, I need connection, I want this, I need this. You know, like, I'm hearing Kelly Clarkson's Little Miss Independent. Again, you don't have to be a woman to be person A, but it's just funny. And it is very much that vibe of like Miss Independent wants to fall in love. You know, it's cute. It's cute. Okay. So after this moment, okay, person A, they need to rest. You know, they need to rest. They need some time to just figure things out. And so it's very much, you know, what person B was doing way back here, person A is now doing up here. You know, like they're finally like, you know what? I just need to slow down, stop working so hard, and take some time to just evaluate what I want. And so, you know, person A might be taking a vacation. They might be using their PTO at work. You know, they may be taking some days off. And they're just trying to figure things out. And I feel like they're being gentle with themselves. They're working on their self-care. They're just being a lot more kind to themselves. They're not pushing themselves so hard, because person A, I mean, they are a go-getter. They are an overachiever. And so it's a big thing for them to slow down and to just take some time to enjoy their life and to enjoy the fruits of their labor. I mean, they're the kind of person who like works really hard but doesn't really take the time to enjoy their money. Like they're just always working, always striving, always pushing for more, always trying to do more. You know, they stay so busy. And so for them to take some time out, that's very out of character and shows honestly a lot of growth. Shows a lot of growth that they're willing to give themselves time to rest, to have some balance in their life. Okay? Now, for person B here, with this Page of Wands, I think person B is going through a couple different things. Okay? For one, they're starting to think, maybe I want to try to do something else. You know, like I've had a lot of success here, but now that I have this like financial stability, well, not even stability, now that I have financial abundance, and now that I have more time on my hands because I'm able to delegate things to other people, maybe I want to take some time to explore a new hobby. Maybe I want to take some time to just, you know, enjoy nature. Because I really feel like person B is very outdoorsy. Maybe I just want to take that camping trip I've been thinking about for a long time, you know, and kind of get back to even doing some things that maybe they enjoyed when they were a kid that they haven't done in a really long time. I'm hearing fishing. They're very outdoorsy. But anyway, things like that. You know, they just want to add more fun back into their life. And I think, and this is a more specific message for some, you know, person B people here, they are starting to think about legacy. And for some of them, they want someone to carry on their business, and they want it to become like a family business. And so they're thinking about the possibility of having children and wanting to be able to pass down their business to their children. So for some of them, they're thinking about legacy. They're thinking about creating generational wealth. Okay. But again, that's a more specific message. And so it's nice to see these two people aligned here, because, you know, person B is trying to take out time to have more fun, to be more playful, to just pursue something for the fun of it. And person A is finally getting some rest, finally taking some time for self-care. And so to see them in alignment like this, it makes a lot of sense that now we're here at the meeting. And this Ace of Pentacles, because person B has had this earth sign energy, even being drawn to the Greenwich Tarot, it's very earthy. You know, this entire reading, they've had this earthy energy. And so this is telling me here that person B is going to approach person A. They're going to offer person A something. So this could be them, you know, like if you meet online, this could be them sending the first message. If you meet them when you're out and about, if you're person A and you're, I don't know, grocery shopping, or you're on that vacation we were talking about, you could bump into person B and they would be the one to approach you, the one to ask for your number, to flirt with you first. So they are, person B is making the move towards person A. Okay, so, you know, if you're at a party, person B is approaching person A. And with the Seven of Pentacles here, they do it in a very respectful way. You know, person B is a gentleman or a lady. They are not, I don't know, they're not, I don't know, there's a old-fashioned kind of nature to them, like they believe in a courtship kind of thing. And that makes sense because we got the turtle in the very beginning, like slow and steady. You know, they don't rush things. They don't rush anything in their life, so they're not going to rush this either. You know, they're going to take their time to get to know person A and to build something really solid, a solid foundation with person A. That's just how they are. You know, in life, that's their general approach, is they take things slow. So if you're person A, like, don't question whether this person is really interested in you or not just because they move at a slower pace. That's just how they are. That's just their nature. They may even talk slowly, you know, like they just kind of move at a nice, gentle, easy pace. And I think also with this Seven of Pentacles, at the same time, they're slowly working towards whatever they were trying with that Page of Wands, you know, whatever hobby they were wanting to take on, or, you know, whatever they had been putting off that they hadn't done since they were a kid, or, you know, just something that they really wanted to do. They're taking their time to slowly work at that in their downtime, you know, that they have when they're not running their business, or when they're, you know, not working at their job. Okay. But yeah, I feel like there's, and, you know, I feel like person B has a positive influence on person A and encourages them to slow down and to have more balance in life, where person A helps and encourages person B to take more risks, to take more chances, to not overthink so much and just commit to a certain action. All right, so that was the explanation of timelines here. So just to recap, or to like re-emphasize, if you feel like you're person A and you are at this stage, then that means person B is at this stage, and you go through these things before you end up meeting each other. So that should give you a little bit of an idea of a time frame. All right, group 1. Now I'm gonna roll the astro die to find out which season you could be meeting your future spouse in, to give you guys a little bit more of an example of a time frame for what time of the year it could be. So I'm not gonna say if this is happening, next year or the year after that, because it's a general reading, but we will at least get the season. And so what I'll do at the end of this reading is I'll put the exact dates for each season up. That way you can screenshot it if you're watching this on your phone, or you can pause the screen and write the dates down. That way it'll just be easier for you than me just saying the dates. But we'll get 3 possible seasons, okay? So group 1, when are you meeting your future spouse? And divine timing is sometimes at play, so just take what resonates, okay? All right, so we have Pisces season here, which, that's not too far off. We have Cancer, so lots of water sign. So we've got Cancer and Pisces. And we have Taurus. None of those are too far off. But again, it may be happening this coming year, the year after that. Just use your own discernment based upon where you're at in this timeline. And let's go on to the rest of your messages. And like I said, I'll put the exact dates for those zodiac seasons at the end of the reading, so you can snapshot it or write it down. So let's get some details about who your future spouse is. And remember, like I said, just take what resonates, because these are more specific messages here. We have their love language is quality time. That's my favorite love language. So let's see, what else? They are not your usual type. I know people get upset by this, but I'm like, if you tend to date the same type of person, maybe it's good to try something different. You don't want to necessarily keep dating someone who's just like your ex, if that didn't work out for you. Some people take this so strongly to mean like, oh, I'm not going to be physically attracted to them. No, it doesn't mean that. It just means they're not the usual type of person you go through. It could be in terms of their personality. Maybe you tend to date super serious people and your future spouse is really funny. So it could just be something a little bit different than what you're typically used to. Or, maybe you tend to date liars and cheaters. This person's going to be honest and loyal. It doesn't have to be so serious to mean like you're not going to be remotely physically attracted to them. They're your future spouse, so you're probably going to be physically attracted to them, okay? So, I don't know, people lose their heads over that. Okay. This person is more of an extrovert, so they're more sociable. They're very giving, very generous. And they are an optimist. Oh, I love that. So yeah, they're very positive. I like that. So let's get a love token from your future spouse. Group 1 love token. And we'll get 2. It says good for breakfast in bed. So maybe your future spouse is a good cook. That makes sense if they're very giving, that they would do nice things for you. Aw, and good for a very long cuddle. So maybe this person also has physical touch as a love language. Okay, now let's get some romance matchsticks. We'll get maybe 3. Group 1, future spouse. We have take your partner on a blindfolded walk. You know what? I was kind of getting this vibe that your future spouse might be someone who's good at like carpentry, and I don't know where that message was coming from, but I feel like they're good at building things, at putting things together. I feel like they would almost like build something for you on your property and like take you there and surprise you. Like they would build you know, those like she sheds, or they would build like a gazebo, or I don't know, like they would build like a koi pond. I don't know, but they would like build something outside on your property. Or I don't know, maybe you're a big animal lover, and so they build like a cute little stable or something. I don't know, there's just something about them building something and then wanting to surprise you with it, show it off to you. Or maybe they're really good at gardening, and so they build like a nice flower bed for you or something. We have sign up for a class together. I'm not surprised, especially because we had quality time as a love language. I feel like both of you would like to keep busy and do things together, because we had a lot about sharing your life together. And so, yeah, I mean, like maybe sign up for like a pottery class or a cooking class or something like that. Something cute. And then we have get a little gift for your partner just because. So yeah, I mean, they might just consistently surprise you with little gifts, you know, little things to show you that they're thinking of you, that they appreciate you, that they value you, all that good stuff. All right, group 1, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I know it was a little bit different in terms of the format. Hopefully it was helpful and it brought you some comfort, some hope, some excitement. And yeah, like I said, don't forget to check out the dates at the end of the reading. And yeah, I'm wishing you the very best. Please take care, and I will see you in my next one. welcome to your reading. Now, I do want to explain the layout of this before we get into it, and just explain what we have going on. So we have two timelines presenting here. We have person A with the Mystical Cats Tarot, and we have person B with the Yuletide Tarot at the bottom here. And so I've lined these up so you can see this is what person A is going through at the time that person B is going through this, right? And so we can see how your lives are sort of lining up with your future spouse. Now, I'm not going to designate whether you are person A or person B. I'm going to let you figure that out for yourself. And it should be pretty easy because we have two court cards to start off. So that I think will make it a little bit more clear to you, which timeline you represent and which timeline is your future spouse's. So these two cards here represent when you two meet each other. Okay, so for some of you watching this, you may be right here at the Six of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. So maybe you're person A and your future spouse is person B. And maybe you're going through a Six of Swords moment at the time that your future spouse is going through this Nine of Pentacles. So you have a little bit more, things to go through before you meet each other. Whereas for some of you, you may be like, man, I'm like right here in this Devil card energy, like this is what I'm going through right now. Then you're really close to meeting your future spouse if you're person A, okay? So just try to figure out where you are in your timeline, and that can give you a hint about how close you are to meeting your future spouse. Now, at the end of your reading, what we're also going to do is get some possible seasons, zodiac seasons for when you could be meeting your future spouse. And then we'll use our grab bag here to get some messages about your future spouse's personality, or just little clues about them. And then we'll get 2 love tokens from your future spouse. And then we'll end your reading with some Spark Romance matchsticks. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so for person A, they are represented by the Knight of Wands to start us off. And you can see here in this card, this is someone who's having to navigate a super tricky situation. Like this is high stress. And the thing is with the Fire Tomcat here, like this is someone who they're good at it, like they're good at managing something difficult, something tricky, because they're really brave, they're really strategic, they know how to move in a certain way. And I think this is representing in particular trying to navigate some sort of social environment where there are a lot of conflicting personalities and there are a lot of people just out for themselves, and there's a lot of drama and conflict. And I think that when we talk about fire sign energy, we're talking about someone who has a lot of social skills. And so they're really good at navigating this kind of social environment. So this could be like a toxic work environment. This could be that they have a lot of family issues or a lot of conflict amongst their friends. But there's some kind of conflict in one of their social environments, and they're having to navigate it with some finesse here. And they're good at doing it. But ultimately, over time, this is going to be something that's incredibly draining and tiring, having to navigate these different personalities, having to navigate passive-aggressive people or gossiping or just negativity in general, right? And it could be, like a really competitive workplace or something like that. Or like I said, maybe a lot of family conflict. Now, meanwhile, for person B, we have the Queen of Swords here with the Queen of Canes. And so she almost presents a little bit like the Hermit card. She's alone. And when I say she, I'm just talking about divine feminine energy. Remember, I'm not necessarily talking about gender. So if you're a man watching this, you could still possibly be person B, okay? But anyway, I forgot to say, if you're a Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius, person A could be you. Meanwhile, if you are an air sign, so a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, person B could be you. But anyway, so I will also say, if you are a man, you very well could be person A, because it's an orange tomcat. So they tend to be males. I mean, you know, orange cats do anyway. So, okay, getting back to this now. The Queen of Swords. She presents like the Hermit. And so there's just sort of this feeling of feeling really lonely, feeling really isolated, but accepting it for what it is and not sort of just making the best of it. Like, I'm going to enjoy my own company, and I still have hope that, you know, eventually I'll get out of this sort of winter season that I'm in. But I'm feeling really almost like a melancholic kind of energy. And there's a real sense of loss. I feel like she could be grieving something, and she's just trying to accept things as they are, instead of having all of this pain kind of overtake her. She's just sort of trying to work through it as best as she can. And, you know, she doesn't tend to like to be super emotional. You know, she's the Queen of Swords. She would rather intellectualize or rationalize her feelings, but it feels like she's being open to the process of healing. Even though it's hard for her, she's being open to it. She's accepting this grieving process for what it is. Yeah, she just feels really regretful, but trying to make the best of it. And then with person A up here, they're eventually going to leave this tricky situation. They're going to do something to change it. So, oh my gosh, I am covered in like cat fur. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm sorry. Anyway, with the Eight of Cups here. And this could be like a really toxic romantic relationship as well. I forgot to say that. But at a certain point, it's like enough is enough. You know, like for my own mental and emotional stability, well-being, my health, I've got to either set boundaries, cut ties, love you from a distance. I got to change my job. Like, something's got to give here, because I can't give anymore. Like, this is just not sustainable. I cannot keep walking through fire. I will not, you know, set myself on fire to keep you warm any longer. I will not do it. I'm done. You know, like, that's just kind of the energy here. Like, I have given all that I can to this situation. I have nothing left to give. I'm done. I'm at the end of my rope. Like, I cannot keep making these adjustments. I can't keep making these concessions. Like, at a certain point, I have to fulfill my own needs. And I can't keep walking on eggshells, walking through fire to suit anybody else. I cannot do it any longer. And so there is this process of separation, of ending something, of walking away from something, of distancing themselves, or holding like very firm, strong boundaries with a person or a group of people, and a prioritization of self. And so there's this assertion of, this is what I need. It's time for my needs and my wants to be fulfilled now. I'm tired of people pleasing. I'm tired of playing second fiddle. You know, it's time for me to prioritize my health now. It really is. I'm done. Person B, meanwhile, they are still going through this grieving, healing process. And whatever they have lost, I mean, it was something really close to their heart. This could have been a death in the family, a death of a pet. This could have been the ending of a romantic relationship, a really bad breakup. But it's something that they've lost. You know, maybe they've had to do no contact with a parent. I mean, it could be so many different things, but it's a really big loss. And it's one that leaves them feeling nostalgic for the past. wishing they could go back and change certain things and knowing that they can't, and having to accept that, wishing they could go back and say something to their younger self to change it, to make it easier. There's just a lot of nostalgia, a lot of remorse, a lot of regret, a lot of grieving, a lot of healing, a lot of like shadow work going on. And they feel sad and they feel sentimental, and their emotions are just, going through these different waves. And it's really hard for them. I mean, they're in a winter season. They're in like almost like hibernation period of trying to get themselves to a better emotional state. So they feel really disconnected from the world. They feel really withdrawn, and they're not in the present moment because they are trying to reconcile and heal and accept the past so that they can move on. And it's like, I can't fully be present right now because I'm trying to work through everything that has happened. And so I'm trying to make peace with my past, and I'm accepting that it's going to take some time. So they are, accepting that they are in a healing phase here. God bless person A. I mean, person A, they've been going through it. So whatever they're trying to walk away from or distance themselves from, if it's a person or multiple people, it's like they're not letting them go easily. They're not letting them go without a fight. So this is like, you try to put in your 2-week notice and your employer is like pitching a fit, trying to get you to stay when you were just done. Or this is you trying to break up with somebody and them guilt tripping you, manipulating you, trying to convince you or love bomb you into thinking that they're going to change when they're not. Or this could be a parent kind of guilt tripping you and, like being super narcissistic and trying to like pull you back into the drama that's going on in the family. Could be so many different things, right? But it's like there's so much conflict, and someone or people are trying to pull them back into the conflict, and they're like, not my circus, not my monkeys. I already told you. I told you. And it's like, they may give them a little bit more of a chance, but if they do, it doesn't last for long. Like person A is smart, and person A is fed up, and person A is sick and tired. And when you get to that point, it's like, like I'm going to cut my losses here. Like I have my scars already. Like, you're not going to hurt me anymore. I'm tired of this. I'm tired. And so, it takes some time for them to cut those ties because, and even in like, if you've ever tried to end a friendship, man, that's tricky. It's worse than a breakup. Like there's no manual on how to do it, so it's like people will try to pull you back into their drama and their negativity and their nonsense. And it's like, no, I told you I'm done. I told you. Like, I've tried to fix this. I've tried to resolve this multiple times with you. I've tried to be direct. I've tried to talk through this. It's not getting any better. And so at a certain point, either there's like an inherent incompatibility here, you're just not in like a mature enough place, there's some mental health things going on, whatever. But like this connection, this relationship, this dynamic, this social environment, it's not healthy for me. I can't do it anymore. And so it's like they're trying to be pulled back into it, but at this point in time, they're firmly saying no. So I do think that it takes them some time to make this change. It does. It's not like an overnight thing of like, oh, I'm done. See ya. Like, it takes a moment. And I think it's because person A is a really great person. And so whoever, or if it's multiple people that they're trying to walk away from here or distance themselves from, they're trying to pull them back in because person A is a great person. So they're losing something. Person A is not losing anything from walking away from this connection. If anything, they're gaining their, mental health and stability and peace of mind back. Whereas, whoever person A was involved with, or the people that they were involved with, they were benefiting from person A being in their life, but it was just hurting person A. So they're not losing anything, but those people or that person is. And that's why they're trying to pull person A back into the drama. Okay? So good for person A. Like, kudos to them, because this is hard to do, and they stepped up and they did it. Okay. Now, for person B here, they're still alone. They're still alone, but they're in this process of bringing back the warmth into their life. Slowly, bit by bit, they're starting to learn how to enjoy life and the little things and the pleasures that they can give themselves. That kind of sounded weird, but ways in which they can treat themselves, ways in which they can make themselves feel good again, you know, whether that is buying themselves something nice, doing some self-care, you know, taking some time out just to enjoy sitting by a cozy fire, you know, redecorating their home, painting their space, just doing little things to refresh their life and refresh their world again. You know, maybe buying some new clothes, just doing things to help them get into a new mindset. And they're small, but those small little things that show themselves that they care and that they love themselves and they want to give themselves a fresh start. They want to heal. They want to rebuild. They want to move on. They want to feel present. They don't want to live in the past anymore. Over time, all of those almost like good deeds towards themselves are going to accumulate and really help them get to a better mental and emotional space, a place of healing. Now we see person A in the Nine of Pentacles energy. And it's nice here because it kind of looks like this cat is running away and like this cat jumped through this tunnel towards safety. And I feel like this is what pushed person A to leave behind all of this negativity, because they saw a light at the end of the tunnel. They saw a better vision for what their life could look like. And I feel like they wanted to have more peace. They wanted to just enjoy life and not be so bogged down by all of this drama and negativity. They didn't want to be around all of this, you know, toxic energy. And it makes a huge difference in your mental health, the people that you surround yourself with. And so now that they've cleaned up, you know, now that they have fixed what was, you know, wrong, what wasn't working in their life, now they can start to focus on their own peace of mind. And so, you know, financially, they're doing really well. You know, they have great stability, security. They're in a place of abundance. And so it's like, okay, I've got that figured out. Now let me focus on myself. Let me focus on, you know, rebuilding like my social support. And let me just get to a better peace of mind. You know, and so it's a gentler, easier cycle for them. And they needed that. After all of this craziness, they need a moment of rest and restoration. Now, poor person B. Person B. This King of Swords comes in. And this King of Swords, on the surface, seems very similar to person B here. And they seem like they would be a great match. But sometimes the people that we are most alike trigger us the most. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's a match made in heaven. Now, this could be an ex coming back. And maybe that's what they were trying to heal from, was a breakup. This could be a parental figure that they were trying to go like no contact with or create distance with, and they were mourning, you know, that relationship not being what they want it to be. And then this parent comes back in, but they're offering breadcrumbs. They're offering breadcrumbs. This is not a healthy dynamic. And it could be that this person doesn't physically come back, but the memory resurfaces. And sometimes that happens in the healing process. This could also be someone who passed away. And it does feel like that there were unresolved issues when this person passed. And that's why it was so hard to accept the death, the loss, because there were unresolved issues at the time of their passing. And some of you may say, like, I know who this, if you're person B, you may say, I know who this person is and I'm nothing like them. Everybody that I know who has like a parent that they are exactly like, or, you know, an ex that mirrors them in some way, it's hard to see it. It's hard to see it when you're in that dynamic. And the reason that person is triggering you is because they are reflecting things about yourself that you would rather deny. And it's hard to accept that when it happens. It's happened to me before. It's really hard to accept the bitter truth of, you know, the aspects of ourselves that we would rather keep in the shadow. But there's a reason why that person is triggering you. There's a reason for it. Okay? And so, and even if you look at all the black that she's wearing, I mean, she's like in mourning. She really is. She's grieving. And so healing is not a linear process. Sometimes you think you've gotten to a better place, and then something happens, something triggers you, and you're right back in it. And it could be something small as like a smell that triggers a memory, and you're right back in it. It doesn't have to be some sort of big thing, a big moment. It could be something small that, like a song you hear on the radio. You know, it could be something very small that triggers you. And so, I mean, poor person B, like, they're just trying to move on. And then, again, something triggers this memory, or this person actually comes back in. And they have to be strong enough to say, no, I'm going to progress. I'm going to progress in my grieving and my healing. And I am going to move on. I'm not going to go back to this place. You know, I'm not going to fall for sentimentality or nostalgia. I'm not. I have to move on from this. I cannot be charmed by the past. I cannot. You know, I have to stop picking at these wounds and give them space and time to heal. Now, back to person A up here. Remember how I said they were now in a space where they could work on their own mental health? I feel like person A is going through so much self-development. And they're kind of going through this space of realizing, what about me was allowing myself to stay stuck in this for as long as I did? And what about me was showing or teaching these people or this person that it was okay to treat me in a certain way? And so I feel like this person may be releasing like people-pleasing habits, or releasing the need for approval or validation from others, or releasing the need to, you know, try to take on the responsibility of fixing or healing someone else, understanding that they can't help people who aren't willing to help themselves. They're releasing, you know, this need to be liked, releasing this need to keep the peace, or to make other people happy. They're starting to understand that they're only responsible for their own mood. They're not responsible for someone else. You know, if someone else is angry or upset, you know, with this fire sign energy, like, they want to put a smile on that person's face, make them laugh, get them out of that dark mood. But they're starting to understand that's not my responsibility. That's not my burden to take on. That's not on me. And so they're doing a lot of inner work. They're doing a lot of inner work. And they're not letting other people misuse their warmth, their light anymore. Because they are a really beautiful soul, you know, and they have a genuine love and care for other people. They want other people to feel good about themselves. They want other people to be happy and smiling and laughing. And they're starting to understand they can only, you know, control themselves. They only have power over their own actions. It's just not their burden to make other people, feel better. And, they may be the type of friend who always has to play therapist, the person that everyone goes to for advice all the time, that sort of thing. And they're starting to realize, that's just not my responsibility. Now for person B, thank goodness, things are looking up for them again. They get their spark back. They get their spark back. They come back home to themselves. They're ready to rejoin life again. They're ready to get out of this hibernation period and participate in life again. Their heart is open again. They're ready for a new chapter. They're ready for a new beginning. They've made peace with the past and they're done with it. They're out of this period of mourning, and it's really cute. Because group 1 had like a similar thing with the Ace of Pentacles. You have this Ace of Wands with person B here. And so person B is like shining a light out, and them being open to this Ace of Wands energy is attracting this fire sign up here. So it's like almost like a bat signal, like, I'm ready for you. My future spouse, I'm ready for you. And so they're calling in person A to come to them energetically. They're calling this in. And so with the Eight of Pentacles here, the way it's depicted, like this cat leading these kittens through this dark night, the way it's depicted here, it's like, I hear you and I'm on my way. I hear you and I'm on my way. And I think that person A has like reconnected with their inner child through this process. I think that they have, healed, because I think a lot of what they had to go through in terms of their inner work were burdens and responsibilities to please other people, to make other people happy, that came from their childhood. And so they healed that. And so now they're sort of bringing that with them, how they've healed. They're bringing that with them. They've sort of integrated those sort of that hurt inner child. They've integrated that and they've healed from that. And so they're in a really healthy place. And so they are moving towards person B now. And so when they come to meet person B, they are in this Emperor energy. So they've gone from a Knight of Wands all the way to the Emperor. And see, and even this Emperor here, like he's holding this staff and it's on fire. Like he's taken the good of who, he was at this point. And I'm saying he because this is a divine masculine energy, but again, gender doesn't matter. He's taken this energy of what was good and he's used it now to help himself. And so he's gone from mastering just one energy to mastering all the elements. You see the pentacle around his neck. Like he's in this space where he's like the king of all kings. So he's done so much self-development and he's in this healthy space now where he's ready for a healthy, happy connection. And so it's all like divine timing, right? Like you're ready, I'm ready. And so person B has healed their heart. They've gone through this grieving period. They're now ready to match this energy. And because they're now a match for this energy, Group A has gone through all this self-development. Now they meet each other. And so person B is in a receptive energy. They are still in a divine feminine receptive energy. And person A is in a masculine energy moving towards person B. So person A is going to make the first move and person B is going to be receptive to person A, coming towards them, essentially. So this will mean that person A is the first one to send a message if you meet online, or the first one to approach you if you meet in person. Person B would be the first one to approach person A and say, hey, like, can I have your phone number, whatever. So or the first one to flirt, because this is fire sign energy still. So I could definitely see person A being very flirtatious, and very direct and very blunt and straightforward, because the Emperor or the Holly King here, very straightforward. Like, you don't have to second guess their intentions. They're very clear about what they want. And I feel like person B will appreciate that, because especially if this King of Swords was an ex, they could have been dealing with someone who was really verbally manipulative, someone who made a lot of promises but didn't see them through, someone who was really charming with their words but didn't really mean what they said. Their actions, their behaviors didn't line up with their words. They were a sweet talker kind of thing. So I think that'll be a really nice change for person B. Now we'll roll your astro die, and we'll find out, which season you could be meeting your future spouse in. I'm not gonna say the dates. Instead, I'm gonna put them at the end of your reading. That way you can screenshot the dates on your phone, or you can write them down, so that'll be easier for you. So group 2, when are you meeting your future spouse? And remember, like, if you're person A and you're right here in the 6 of Swords, you have some things to go through. Whereas if you're right here in this Devil energy, you're going to be meeting your future spouse very soon. So just find out where you are in your timeline, and that will tell you, or at least give you a hint about how close you are to meeting your future spouse. Okay, group 2. We've got Gemini season. That's when I'm due to give birth. Let's see. We've got Leo season. I'm a Leo, so I'm liking all of this for you guys. Let's see. And we've got Virgo season here. The thing that I like about the way those seasons line up is that they kind of all are in, like the spring, summertime. Well, I guess depending upon where you live, but I kind of like that idea of like the light coming back in for person B. I like that little synchronicity there. I know Virgo season, I think, kind of goes into fall a little bit, but it's not like November, Okay. Let's get some love tokens from your future spouse here. We'll get to group 2. We have good for a candlelit dinner and good for a romantic sunset. I love both of those so much because they're both very romantic, very like I want to sweep you off your feet kind of thing. It's really sweet. Like I'm going to do something special for you. All right, let's get some little details about your future spouse. And these are more specific, so if something doesn't resonate, please leave it, because it is still a general reading. Okay, we have wine and dine and courtship. So you will like properly date this person prior to getting married to them. And they like to try to impress you. And we were already picking up, on that with this candlelit dinner and romantic sunset. Like your person likes to go all out. They want to impress you. They want you to feel special. They want you to feel, like a king or a queen kind of thing. Like I want to treat you. I want to make you feel loved and valued in like a tangible way. Like you can tell I'm putting in effort here. So they'll probably bring you flowers or buy you little gifts, take you to nice restaurants. They may be the one to always pay, that kind of thing. Okay, they're very kind. Very kind. They adore you. They could have straight hair, so they don't have curly hair, wavy hair. They have straight hair. They're very spontaneous. I could see that, especially if your future spouse is person A, that they would be spontaneous. And that's, I think, part of their romantic nature. They would surprise you, and like they may make you think you're just going out for a casual dinner, and then you end up going to a 5-star restaurant. Or they may surprise you with a weekend getaway, or they're like, you know what, let's do something today. Let's not stay stuck in the house. Let's do something fun. I think that they have a really adventurous nature to them. They're very charming. Okay, this really does feel like person A. I mean, if you're person A, that's okay, but this does feel like person A to me, especially because we got the fire Tom in the very beginning, and I said this person is really socially skilled, great social skills. Yeah, I'm not surprised if your future spouse is person A, because they seemed very charming, very charismatic to me. And they're very empathetic, and I love that. And then we got kind too. Yeah, they seem like they have just a very sweet, generous soul. Maybe I'm biased because I'm a Leo, but if this is person A, they have Leo vibes. But anyway, okay. Let's get some spark romance matchsticks here. Leos always think we're the best sign, right? Like we always say that. Okay. Group 2, your future spouse. I think I'm just gonna get 3 matchsticks because that's what I did for group 1. We have recreate a memorable situation from when you first met. That's so romantic. Like, let me recreate our first date for our anniversary kind of thing, or Valentine's Day. Like, that is so cute. I love that. Let me tell you, my husband and I would not recreate our first date. Like, we went to the botanical garden and we were being all cute. We had just had brunch and it rained so badly on us out of nowhere. We were soaked. Like, it ruined our plans for the rest of the day. Like, it was miserable. We both laughed about it, but it was, no, I wouldn't want to relive that. Okay. We have create a weekly shared ritual. I feel like this is someone, like your future spouse really prioritizes the romance. So they would absolutely be like, okay, this is our date night, or this is our movie night together, or this, every Sunday we're doing brunch, or we're going to the farmer's market, or like they just do like sweet romantic things with you, and they make it a priority. And then we have go on a road trip, planned or spontaneous. It's amazing to me how well these matchsticks always line up with the messages. It's really cool. But anyway, we already got a message about them being spontaneous, so this is confirming that. And I did say, like, they may come to you and say, like, hey, let's do a weekend getaway. This is 100% like, their energy. They're very adventurous. All right. Group 2, this was your reading. I had so much fun doing this. Don't forget to stick to the end. I'm going to have it on the screen with the dates for the different zodiac seasons, just so you can remember them and keep them handy. And yeah, anyway, I'm wishing you the very, very best. I hope to see you in my next one, and please take care. Hi Group 3, welcome to your reading. So I want to explain the format of this reading before we actually get into your cards. So the way that I have this lined up, we have person A and person B. Now I'm not going to specify who is who, but hopefully as we go through, you can sort of figure out, oh, I'm definitely person B or I'm definitely person A. And so if you're person A, then your future spouse is person B, okay? And so I have this lined up so we can see what is going on in person A's life and how is person B doing at that time, so we can see what's happening simultaneously in each person's life. And so then we can figure out if you know your person A and you are in this Six of Swords energy, you know you're very close then to meeting your future spouse. However, if you know you're all the way back here in this Page of Cups energy, you have some things to go through before you meet your future spouse. And this will also tell you, more about your future spouse and what's going on in their life. But again, you decide for yourself whether you're person A or person B. Now, if both of these don't resonate, either you haven't started on this journey yet and you're way far away from meeting your future spouse, or try another group, or maybe it's just not your reading, and that's okay, that happens sometimes. Okay, now after we do all of that, then we're gonna get some specific seasons for when you could meet your future spouse, and we'll do it by zodiac signs, and I'll get more into that later. And then after we do that, we'll use our grab bag to get some specific little hints and details about your future spouse. Then we will get 2 love tokens from your future spouse, and then we'll get some spark romance matchsticks. And that will end your reading. So let's go ahead and get into it. So person A, we're using my Circus Tarot deck. And it's really interesting that I was drawn to the Circus deck for person A, and then seeing their cards laid out, I'm like, oh my gosh, this was the best possible deck to use, because what's going on in their life here at this 10 of Cups isn't really real. If you think about a circus, they're putting on a performance, they're putting on a show, and it looks beautiful, it looks really cool, and it's super engaging, right? But it's not real, it's all artificial, right? There's something that's unnatural about it, right? Like, it's not really natural for lions to be performing tricks, right? Like, they're supposed to be out in the wild in Africa somewhere, right? Like, they're not supposed to be, I'm not saying anything bad about circuses or anything like that, but I'm just trying to explain there's something that's not quite natural about it. Like, it looks cool, but there's something unnatural about it. And so it's like, from the outside, things look perfect in person A's life at this time. From the outside, things look like they're too good to be true. And they are. They are. It's an illusion. That's the word that I'm looking for. It's an illusion. The circus is an illusion. It's not real. It's a show. It's a performance. It's not real. And so that's sort of what's going on in their life. Like, it's an illusion of happiness, but it's not real emotional fulfillment. It's not real happiness. Their life looks perfect, but really it's a mess. Or their life looks good on paper, but they don't feel good in their life. They don't really feel happy. Everyone else is like admiring, feeling envious of person A's life, but person A feels empty. Person A feels really disillusioned, okay? And so it makes a lot of sense that person A then goes from the 10 of Cups to the Page of Cups, because it was all a performance. It wasn't real. It's like, I'm pretending to be happy. I'm pretending to be okay. I'm pretending like I have it all together, but I'm a mess. Inside, I'm a mess. I look like I have it all together, but I'm a mess. And that's how they feel. That's how they feel between these 2 cards. Now, if we go over to person B here, with this Page of Wands, this fire kitten, you know, they're sort of trying to figure out a way to have fun in their life. They're trying to figure out a way to not have to, I don't want to say they're like resisting adulthood at this time, but it's almost like a refusal to conform to what society says adulthood has to be. You know, like they're not wanting to take a traditional path. They're trying to forge their own way. They're trying to do something different. And they're not sure how to go about it. You know, like this is the type of person who doesn't go to college immediately after graduating high school. This is the type of person that might travel first, or that might say, you know what, I want to follow my passion and start an Etsy store, or like, you know, like I want to try to follow a non-traditional career path. Like there's just something there where they're like, I don't want to follow the status quo. I don't want to follow the traditional path. I don't want to do what I'm supposed to do. I want to do something that feels right with me. And some people may say that's immature or that's impractical, but this person has dreams. This person has goals. This person has their own idea of what's going to make them happy, and they're not compromising that. They have conviction. They want to go their own way. They want to do something different. You know, they don't want to go to college, get a job, get married, have kids. They don't want to necessarily follow that exact timeline. They want to do something a little bit different, or maybe a lot different, you know, but they're trying to figure out their own way here. And then as we transition to the Empress card here, it's like, I'm finding a way to be abundant. I'm finding a way to enjoy life without having to work myself into the ground or follow someone else's path. I'm forging my own path. I'm doing it my own way. So it's like they are making progress. They are making progress towards this. And, you know, I really feel like they are probably healing something to do with their mother as well. I feel like they're going through a process of reparenting themselves, whether they realize it or not, but they are working through, I think, some wounds with the mother. And they're learning to kind of love themselves and give themselves the love that, you know, they never really had with their mom. So if you have a great relationship with your mom, maybe you're person A, but I do feel like there's something there about healing, something to do with the mother. And then also here with the Empress card, I feel like this person is, you know, coming into their own style, their own aesthetic. You know, they're kind of having this like physical glow up. They're really attractive. They're having fun dating. They're feeling flirtatious. They're having fun. They're having fun. But they're also doing well for themselves. So there's a nice balance there. Now, back to person A here. Person A is making progress from the Page of Cups to the Knight of Cups. They're starting to kind of, you see how they're putting on the gloves here? Like, okay, I've recognized now that I can't keep faking this. I need to actually feel genuinely happy, genuinely content, genuinely emotionally fulfilled. So I need to make some changes. I need to work on myself. I need to figure out where in my life am I doing something for someone else? Where in my life am I doing things to appease someone else? Where in my life am I pretending that I'm happy when really, you know, it looks good on paper, but it's just because I'm following someone else's path, someone else's, I'm hearing prescription for happiness. This feels like the type of person who's always done things by the book, like the exact opposite of person B. They've always done things by the book, and doing things by the book has gotten them to this facade of happiness, a life that looks good but doesn't feel good. And so they're starting to do the hard work to change that. And so there's a lot of inner work going on, but there is also a lot of changes going on in their external world. They're cleaning up their life. And other people may not understand their choices because, again, from the outside, they look like they have a really envious life, but they're miserable. And so I think there's going to be a lot of pushback too, like people who are like, why are you doing this? Like or people may even accuse them of being ungrateful. Like, why aren't you happy? Like almost being angry with them that they're not genuinely happy. But you can't force happiness. You can't force, emotional fulfillment. If it's not there, it's not there. Other people may, be willing to buy your life, right? Like people, like I would pay anything to have your life. But if it doesn't make you happy, it doesn't matter if other people are envious of your life. If it doesn't make you happy, what good is it doing you to have a life that looks good to others? If it doesn't feel good to you, what benefit, is there to that? And so, through this process, they get to this 9 of Pentacles. And so this is them making those real life changes, cleaning up, this mess back here and starting to discern, like, what is it that I value? How do I want my life to reflect that? How do I want to create my dream life? How can I start to make these changes? And so they may be leaving a relationship, leaving a job, moving somewhere else, cutting their hair, changing the way they dress. And some people may accuse them of having like a identity crisis, or, oh, you've changed, And it's like, yes, I have. Please let me evolve. Please stop trying to keep me stagnant. People may accuse them of being rebellious, or, their parents or their family may not understand, these changes that they've made. Like, why did you cut your hair, or get that tattoo, or why are you dressing like that? Or, why are you vegan now? Like, why are you learning a new language? Why are you going to move to another country? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, like they're making all of these changes, and the people around them are like, who are you? And it's because they were living for everybody else except for themselves. And so honestly, like, good for person A, like, kudos to them, because it takes guts, it takes bravery to do what they're doing and to say, like, this is my life. Like, I can't be out here living somebody else's dream anymore. I can't live my life to make my parents happy, or, to look cool to my friends or whatever. Like, I can't do this anymore. I need to be happy in my own life. I need to prioritize my own happiness. Now, going back to person B over here with the Tower moment. So where we left off, things were good. They were having fun. They were healing some stuff, right? There's a Tower moment that happens in their life, and it causes them to go through this moon period where things are uncertain. So there's some kind of fated event that happens in their life. Something that they were working towards wasn't quite stable. And I think part of that is that they were almost prioritizing fun and adventure and spontaneity so much, prioritizing passion so much, that of course there wasn't a lot of stability. They were doing well for themselves, but it's like the lifestyle that you were living wasn't gonna be sustainable, and that's okay. Like, it doesn't mean that they were a failure or anything like that. They wanted their adventure. They wanted to do something against the grain. They wanted to do something alternative. They wanted to do something different. And I feel like for the type of person that they are, they needed to do that. They needed to have freedom. They needed to have the space to fall on their face. Like, they needed to have that freedom, that chance to just go after whatever, to live for the day. And I feel like, they're better for it, because they won't have this inner restlessness. They won't have this like what if kind of mentality. I was watching this Hallmark Christmas movie the other day, and it was the one with, I don't know if it was Tia or Tamara, but it involved like time travel. And, you know, the main character, like, she was trying to convince her sister to not open up, I think it was a bakery or something, because she knew in the future her sister's business went under. And she's like trying to convince her, like, to not open up a restaurant, don't open up a bakery, you're gonna fail, go into real estate, do something different. And her sister was like, no, like, I need to do this for myself. Like, I appreciate your advice, but I didn't ask for it. And I feel like that's kind of what's going on here with person B. It's like, even if you told them, hey, in the future, this tower moment's gonna happen, I feel like person B would say, okay, and I'll deal with it when it happens. Like, I need to have this experience. I need to do this for myself. Even if this chapter in my life only is sustainable for like a year, you know, and it isn't a long-term thing in my life, that's okay. I'll appreciate and cherish that time for what it was. But like, I need to get this restlessness out of my system. I need to do something different. I need to give this a try, just to have peace of mind to know that I tried it. And so, like, I'll always remember this time fondly. But, you know, when it's time for it to end, okay, I accept that. It's fine. But I need to have this time for myself. I need to do this for myself. So, like, if they want to travel, they may know in their mind, okay, I can only afford to travel for like 6 months. And that's okay. Like, it's okay that I can't travel for the rest of my life, as fun as that would be for me to keep on traveling. I know I can't do it forever. I'm okay with that. I'm okay if it's only a 6-month thing. I'm fine with it. I need to do this for me. You know? And so this could even be talking about their love life too. Like, they may have someone in their family who's like, you need to start looking for your, you know, husband or your wife. Like, you need to hurry up. You're getting too old. And they may say, no, like, I don't need to be married by the time I'm, I don't know, 22. You know, just because you got married at 20, grandma, doesn't mean I need to get married. Respectfully, grandma, I don't need to get married at a certain age. I'm going to date. I'm going to meet new people. And it's okay if those relationships just last for a couple months, or it's okay if it's a short-lived fling. I need to have my fun. I need to explore. I want to meet new people. I want to learn. I want to grow. I don't want to be tied down. Maybe I don't want a relationship right now. And I know eventually I am going to want to settle down, but I don't want to settle down yet. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay if there ends up being a tower moment. I need to have my time to do me. And so that's what this is. You know, person B is very assertive. You know, you're not going to tell person B how to live their life. They are a little bit more free-spirited. You know, they live their life on their terms. And if you don't approve or it's not for you, that's cool, because the only person that has to live with my decisions is me. You know, until you have children, like, you know, no one else has to live with your decisions except for you and maybe your pets, but that's it. Okay. And so I feel like, honestly, most people would be just like totally freaked out by the tower and the moon next to each other. But person B just rolls with it. I mean, person B is someone who just accepts life for what it is. And person B is like riding out this storm. You know, like, they're a really upbeat person. You know, it takes a lot to knock them out of their energy. So they're just riding this wave of uncertainty. And they're like, okay, you know, like, I'm going to have faith. I think this person is pretty spiritual. I'm going to have faith. You know, it's going to work out how it's meant to work out. And I'm going to find my footing again. You know, person B is pretty confident too. Maybe sometimes they're a little overly confident, but, you know, they're like, yeah, it's going to be fine. It's all going to work out. You can't tell them any differently. And that may be because they are super confident, because they're strong in their faith, maybe both of those things, but they just have trust. They're like, it's all going to work out in the wash. It's fine. You know, it's all good. It's all good. You know, they're just not super phased. Most people would be having a full-blown panic attack, but they're like, yeah, it is what it is. You know, there could be, you know, like a hurricane outside their window, and they're like, it is what it is. You know, like that's just their vibe. Okay. And I think it's because they're a super adaptable, flexible person that they don't resist change like a lot of people do. They don't cling to things. So if something's meant to leave their life, they're just waving goodbye, you know, like they're super chill in that way. Okay, now back to person A. We have the Six of Swords, and I'm so glad to see that for them because this feels like a closing of a chapter, you know, like they started to make those changes. People around them are like, what are you doing? And they're just moving on, you know, and the people in their life who don't get it, who want to keep them the way that they were before when they were miserable, if they have to create distance between, you know, them and those people, if they have to leave those people behind, if they have to set boundaries, then that is what it is. But they're moving forward. They're moving on. And so some of the things they wanted to do in this like planning stage too, they're acting upon it. So if they were planning on moving across the country or, you know, relocating, changing jobs, you know, those bigger changes, they're doing them. They're doing them. And, you know, you can see that they're taking some people with them. You know, they're not cutting ties with everybody from their past life, but they're being discerning about who is supportive of them and who is really holding them back. You know, because sometimes people don't want us to change. They don't want us to evolve. They have this idea of who we are in their head, and they don't want to let it go. And we need people who give us breathing space, who allow us to change and evolve. And I think that's the beautiful thing about person A versus person B. Person B is going to be so supportive of person A. Like when you come into union, if you're person A, when you come into union with person B is going to love you no matter how you change. And they're going to support you as you change and evolve over time. And whatever you want to do, they're going to support that. You know, they're not going to be selfish and try to keep you a certain way. They're not the type of person to try to box somebody in or try to limit somebody. You know, like they're like, do what you want to do. This is your life, honey. You know, like they support you as an individual because individualism is something that they really value. Authenticity, living in your truth, living your life, not conforming to what someone else wants you to be. That's their like whole life philosophy, right? Like they're very free-spirited. So they're never going to try to box you in, you know, or get you to sort of conform to their values. They're like, no, like you retain your individuality. We are both individuals coming together and working as a team. We're partners, but I'm not going to sit here and control you or dictate what you should wear, how you should act, what you should want, what you should do. I'm just going to support you as you continue to evolve and grow as a person, because I see you as a person. I don't see you as a possession. I see you as a person. I know that we're choosing to belong to each other, but I'm not trying to control you. I'm not looking at you like you're something that I own or that you're a trophy or a conquest. I see you as a person. And I'm going to let you evolve and change and grow. And if, you know, you have your tower moment and you fall flat on your face, I'm going to be there to support you because that happens in life sometimes, and that's okay. So I think it's going to be a super supportive dynamic between these two people. And I think that person A is going to feel so liberated by person B's energy. Okay? And I think person A is going to ground person B. You know, person B needs a little bit of structure, you know, and I think that person A is really going to benefit person B in that way. Okay, now moving back to person B here, we have the Three of Wands. So at a certain point, this like moon energy clears up for person B, and they start to see like, okay, this is the direction I need to move towards. Like they get that, they get a sign from the universe, or they get some guidance, or they get a moment of clarity. I'm hearing a moment of clarity. and, you know, the fog of the moon lifts and they see a way forward. They see what they need to do next. You know, they get some divine inspiration. They have an epiphany moment kind of thing, like, oh, that's what I need to do now. And so, you know, they find their footing, they find their way. And with this Nine of Pentacles, they find a place of stability. And we haven't really seen them be stable at all. So when they reach that point of stability, where they lay down some roots, you know, that restlessness, you know, subsides. And yeah, it's a new adventure, it's a new start, but it's one that gives stability where they've never had it before, where they're like, okay, I'm going to stay in this for a while. So, you know, they find a job that they can commit to, or, you know, they find a place where they want to settle down, maybe purchase a home, you know, get an apartment. You know, they have, you know, some stability where they haven't had it before. And so when they reach this place of stability, you can see how it's like perfect timing for person A and person B to meet, especially, and it's very cute, the person A has the Two of Cups here. And so I feel like, you know, person A has gone through this entire, like, almost like identity crisis, and then, you know, they've gone through it and they have started to live their life for themselves. They figured out who they are, separate from other people's opinions of what they, you know, should be doing and who they should be and all this stuff. And now they're in a place where, because they know themselves, they're ready for a relationship. Because if they had gotten into, you know, a relationship with person B way back here, it wouldn't have lasted. They didn't know who they were yet. You know, they were still living their life for everybody else. And so they had to go through this almost like process of finding out who they are, this process of self-discovery, so they could be ready for a healthy, happy, lasting connection. And that's going to be with their future spouse. And so, you know, they had to be ready for this. They had to go through that period of self-discovery. And, you know, I would say to a certain extent, person B also went through a sort of process of, I wouldn't say self-discovery, but more so trying to figure out how to navigate what they want out of life in a way where they still have stability and where they can build something lasting. And so, you know, this has been sort of their journey. And so now that they have a sense of stability, now that they've gotten this restless energy out, they've had their fun, they've had their adventures, they've done their exploring, and now they're ready to settle down. And so now they're ready, person A and person B are ready to come into union. So remember what I said, you know, if you're person A and you're way back here, or if you're person B and you're way back here, it's going to take some time, you know, to meet your future spouse. But if you're right here in this energy, then you're going to meet soon. Okay, let's get some zodiac seasons for when you could be meeting. And this doesn't have to be the upcoming season. You know, if you're way back here, it may be a few years off. So just take what resonates. And I'm not going to give the specific dates. What I'll do is at the end of the reading, I'll put it on the screen written out for you all. That way you can screenshot it with your phone so you can easily reference it. Or if you're watching on a desktop or a laptop, you can write them down. Okay, group 3, when are you meeting your future spouse? Okay, we've got Leo season to start. We'll get 2 more possibilities since it is a general reading. We've got Cancer season, so those are right next to each other. And we have Sagittarius season. Okay, awesome. All right, and that's one of my hairs. We'll get that out the way. Okay, let's get some details, some clues about your future spouse. Just take what resonates with these because it is a more specific message and this is a general reading. So if something doesn't resonate, just leave it. Okay, group 3, your future spouse. What do we need to know? Group 3. Okay, they could have blonde hair. That doesn't have to be their natural hair color. They may dye it. We have charismatic. Love to see that. They can be rational or logical. So, you know, they prefer to make decisions with their mind rather than their heart or their intuition. We have successful in their career. We have they are extroverted. This is kind of sounding like person A a little bit. Okay, we have artistic and creative. That could be person B. They're very humble. I like to see that. I always like to see someone who's humble. I always feel like that's so important, to not be arrogant. You don't want to be, you know, have too much humility, but it's good to be humble. And they could have wavy hair, so blonde wavy hair. Okay, so let's go ahead and get your love tokens from your future spouse. We have good for a date night, and we have good for a long massage. Okay, so this here could tell me that you guys end up having like a weekly date night, or you have really fun date nights, or it's just something that, you know, like you make a priority, or when you do have a date night, it's always really fun. And then for the massage part of it, maybe their love language is physical touch, or they like to pamper you. All right, now we're gonna get some matchsticks, and we'll get 3 for group 3. We have share a bubble bath. Yeah, you two, I mean, you two are cute. You have fun together. We have act like tourists in your own city or town. I feel like that's totally person B's vibe. You know, to have fun, to explore, to do all of the, you know, like cheesy things that people do when they visit. So maybe you guys are gonna live in like a tourist destination. That could be like a little clue. So maybe you don't necessarily meet there, but maybe that's where you two end up moving to, or you end up in a place where people like to vacation or people like to visit. So maybe like a large city, or somewhere really scenic, somewhere really, you know, out in nature. You know, that could mean a lot of things, but like a tourist destination where people vacation. And then we have set a goal together. And I mean, I think that's really nice. And I feel like that could be like person A's influence on person B. Like, let's create a long-term plan here. You know, let's not always fly by the seat of our pants. Let's have, you know, a long-term plan for our future. Okay. Group 3, this was your reading. Thank you so much for letting me do this for you. Don't forget to check out the dates at the end of the reading. I'm wishing you the very best, and I hope to see you in my next video. Please take care.